This is the real Wargamer, back with a force on force movement to obviously force on force, a movement to contact firefight here between equal rifle platoons here. I don't think there was. Yeah, there wasn't any more direct fire. There could be, but or actually, I can't even say that. There might be able to be more. There might be more direct fire, but I'm going to go into movement phase here. As a matter of fact, while I'm sitting here, well, I guess I'll do my introductory remarks. I did figure something out. Now, before I make these remarks, I want to make it clear. Boy, this is really annoying, isn't it? I do feel a little weird. I feel like I'm beating up on this old game for no good reason. But on the other hand, it's not really for no good reason because, boy, that was really distracting, wasn't it? It's not really for no good reason because it does help me work through what I'm looking for in designs and not looking for. Yeah, not that this directly necessarily helps game design, my game design, but it does help me think through in more detail things that I'm looking for or not looking for. So there's that, and then there's okay, so there are definitely things I like here, which I guess shows or suggests the experimental, maybe the experimental direction of the design. But I think I figured something out. 2-minute turns. 2-minute turns, and basically units can move or shoot, with a few exceptions. That is a problem for me. Not in the outcome necessarily. I don't know. I'm not going to run the numbers to make an opinion on the outcomes. Let's just assume the outcomes are fine. It's still the gross approximation. It's the coarseness of the design. I'm not, especially in a scale and scope game of like this, a game of this scale and scope, I am definitely not looking for, maybe that's the crux of the matter, right? I am not looking for sweeping, design for effect, elegance, and blah, blah, blah. That's not specific. That's definitely not what I'm looking for. So yeah, I thought, okay, so if units, this is something I was wondering, if units have 6 movement points, could you do that? I don't know. Well, anyways, I'll continue on with what I was thinking. This was totally off the top of my head. I know the other thing I was going to say. This is not, I am not making up rules for raid, and I am not advocating that. I still think the game is just fine the way it is. I'm just saying that trying to play raid here is prompting all of this. Probably prompts more design thinking than anything else. So that's what this is about. So what I was going to say is, okay, so if units have 6, I'll grab another unit. So if units have 6 movement points, like this, okay, so here's the unit. So if a unit has, let's put a target. Here's our target there. So if a unit has 6 movement points, then maybe one idea is, well, let me go back to, I've always thought that the casualties are high. So maybe one idea for building on, for another design, but building on the core here, or maybe it's just, and I won't even say that. This is just a way of looking at maybe a way to do this. Okay, so if I still think these casualties are high, so maybe this table is for a unit that sits and does not move at all. This unit sits in the game turn, it fires, and it uses the table normally. Now, if the unit spends one movement point, it would be movement points. If it spends one movement point, it can then fire, and you shift one column left, that is going down in effectiveness. You shift one column left for each movement point that you spend. I would probably extend a few columns here. Okay. Now if it moves, it could move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it fires, and so it would be, for example, let's put the target in the open. So it would be, here for 4 in clear terrain, and then it would the unit spent 4 movement points. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, and it fires with its remaining movement points, so to speak. It fires on this column. That's entirely doable. And again, I just came up with that off the top of my head. Okay, so yeah, that actually went faster and smoother than I thought it would. That's exactly what. So that would give units the option, because for 2 minutes, units moving or shooting, again, I got it. It works out because, after all, there are movement allowances of 6, which I'm not saying that's actually a lot of ground to cover, but 6 hexes is a fair amount of ground to cover on the map, which is definitely not the same thing. 2 minutes, and then attacking with fire combat for 2 minutes? No. Anyways, so that's an idea. And then I got another idea that this builds off of, I know, something I've talked about before. So let me pull out my example units again. And let's say a unit is sitting here and it has not moved or shot. It's not. What do you do for? What about shooting and then moving? Let's say you could do the same thing, but you have to do them together, maybe to keep it a little bit manageable. Okay, so the other thing I was thinking is that this unit's sitting here, hasn't moved or shot at all, so it has a movement allowance of 6. Maybe you wouldn't need opportunity fire now, but what I was going to say is that when this unit moves 3 into the heavy woods there, it has 3 remaining movement points. Maybe then this unit that fires on it is treated, you still shift 3 columns to the right, because the idea is that in this case 2-minute turn, actually this is a good example because it's 6 and 3 and 3 in 2 minutes. When this unit moves and spends 3 movement points to move into the woods there, spending 3 movement points, in a sense, and I'm not saying, I suppose you could possibly get more complicated than this, but in a simple sense, when it spends 3 movement points from a movement allowance of 6 for a 2-minute turn, it has spent the first minute moving into the woods hex. And so if this unit wants to fire on it, it's basically only firing in the second half of the 2-minute turn. And I know that bears a slight resemblance to what I was talking about earlier with tick. Okay, but prorating is, I think I talked a long time ago about prorating, well, frankly, everything. But anyways, all right, movement. See, now I need to remember who fired. I think he fired, and he will not move because he's suppressed. He may not move, but he may fire. Okay. Okay, so odd again, so it's tan movement. I guess he wants to get better fields of fire, so he goes there. I guess you might as well decide now whether, let's do visibility. And I guess technically, I think, well, I don't know if this is the the intention of the design or not, but I'm going to say green side's going to decide whether it's going to, well, yeah, but if he doesn't have well, let's figure out if the rules do say, can the green side decide or figure out whether he has observation to the moving unit there without committing to an attack? Wait. Yeah, that'd be opportunity fire. All right, I'll talk about this because this is directly relevant. So I was wondering, green unit, tan unit just moved. Contour line is directly halfway between the two units. However, this game has something that I don't remember seeing very often, or I don't remember seeing any rule exactly like this. So what it says is, in addition to other loss restrictions, a unit in a hex not immediately adjacent to a contour line. So that'd be like this unit here in hex 3418 is not directly adjacent to the contour line, and so it may not spot. Do they actually use spot? Yeah, they do use spot. Spot units at any lower elevation that are less than 7 hexes away. So that are less. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This tan unit is 6 hexes away from this green unit, and this green unit is not adjacent to this contour line, so therefore it cannot see the tan unit here. However, this unit is adjacent to the contour line and so can see the tan unit. So that means that is it reciprocal? You would think it would be, wouldn't you? Do they talk about reciprocal? All right. Assuming it's reciprocal, this unit. So, Actually, I guess the way it's worded, it might be actually reciprocal. So this unit is not adjacent to the contour line. So he cannot see this unit because it is less than 7 hexes away. It's a very interesting way. The only thing I can think of is that they went with this because it's 25 meter hexes, maybe? I don't know. But in any case, they can't see each other. So there is nothing there. Oh, wait, he is adjacent. So this is very different than I'm used to. So that unit is adjacent to the contour line. So it can see the unit less than 7 hexes away. Huh, yeah, so why would he not use opportunity fire? I think he would. Yeah, I find myself trying to fill in the blanks and extrapolate all over the place. So I think I think a unit, no, I think a stack of units can move together. So then this unit uses opportunity fire. Is it firing at the hex? No, it's firing at the target. And what is the target? Is the target the stack? I mean, it might be the stack, but some of the writing of the rules refer to the unit. Like suppression, the unit may not move. The unit takes the indicated number of casualties. Now it does say if a unit in a stack takes more casualties than it has men available. If a unit in a stack takes more the next unit in the stack could be the remaining losses are taken from the next unit in the stack, but this is just all this is all not good. That's not good. So back once again, if it's firing at one of the moving units as a unit, then that unit took a suppression. Which means what? Which means no, that conflicts with other. See, it says, okay, it says, in the direct fire phase, a player may attack an enemy unit. Okay. During the movement phase, a player may only attack enemy unit or units that are moving or firing. I don't know if this wording is tight and rigorous or not. Of course, I should assume that it is not. So, and the fire routine considers the unit that is firing, the target, the range to the target, and any protection afforded the target by terrain. All right, I'm going to take the simplest interpretation, but this seems to have problems. Oh wait, that was only with the whole thing about the next unit in the stack. That's only for casualties. So, while the wording is still not tight, but I'll assume it means the unit or units are suppressed. Oh man. Is there any other clue? Suppression? No. Problem, it looks like terminology is not tight between unit and units and target. And taking casualties top to bottom in a stack is, for this scale and scope, that's just silly. That's just silly. And okay, I won't say it's silly. That once again, that's a gross approximation that is not appreciated.